of 111 and will be attending Cornell University in the fall of 2020. Michelle is of Colombian descent. She grew up in West New York and came to North Bergen as a freshman. Based on her above average grades and her background, Michelle became part of our STEM program. Also, Michelle was accepted to the prestigious New Jersey Seeds program. Michelle has an extended background of volunteer work. She volunteered at Hackensack Meridian of the Palisades and Hudson View Nursing Home in North Bergen. Michelle is part of the Key Club and our National Honor Society. Michelle also tutors freshman college students. And during her leisure time, Michelle plays the piano and loves reading classic books. She also has an adventurous side, where she enjoys hiking and canoeing. I would like to congratulate Michelle on her great accomplishments.
I was worried we might have not had the chance to be here today. Hello, class of 2020, families, faculty, and other distinguished guests. I am extremely grateful and humbled to be standing here today. Before I start, I'd like to thank 3 individuals who have supported me throughout so many years. Of course, I'd like to thank my mom, Sonia, who has always pushed me to be the best person I could be. I remember when I was just 5 years old, she'd sit next to me as I formed words in my penmanship books. Now that might seem cute, but did you know she would rip off the page if my words didn't touch the lines perfectly? If my T didn't touch that bottom line, I was doomed. Today, I realize that I owe a lot of my success to my mom. I'm sure that without the tough love of doing things as perfectly and neatly as possible, I wouldn't have developed the persistence and dedication to my education. Thank you, Mom. I'd also like to thank my dad, Jeff, who's always been there for me. He's always so proud and so thrilled whenever I tell him about an accomplishment. I'm pretty sure he gets more excited than anyone else, and that eagerness he displays serves as yet another motivation for me to keep going and giving it my best. The third person I'd like to thank is my stepdad, Alex. Not a day goes by without him giving me motivational and inspirational advice for my future. Quotes like, "Don't be a follower, be a leader," followed by the nickname he gave me, Little M, will never be forgotten. Alex was ranked 2 in his high school. That is, second from bottom up, if you know what I mean. Although this is true, he knows the importance of education, and he is always instilling that in me. Now, remember 4 years ago, freshman year? That was especially tough for me. I didn't grow up in North Bergen, and therefore, I had to create friendships with complete strangers, while everyone else had their little cliques already. Freshman year was a time in which we were so young and so short. Oh, wait, I still am. I remember one class specifically, Geometry Honors with Mr. Gualtieri. I remember how he'd always write super on my tests with the Superman symbol around the S. I was so shocked when I heard the news of his sudden passing. Mr. Gualtieri was a lovely human being whom I will always remember. I also remember all the different versions of baseball we used to play in gym. There was baseball, paddleball, racquetball. I never liked baseball to begin with, so the fact that there were 3 or more versions of the same game was a nightmare to me. But on a positive note, I met some pretty nice students and some pretty kind teachers. Sophomore year, the cool year. I don't know if it was just me, but I felt like I was the bomb when I was a sophomore. Sophomore year meant engineering class with Mr. Chernoff. I didn't know why we had to start drawing on paper when the point of the class was to use AutoCAD on the computers. Now I realize it was kind of a Mr. Miyagi lesson there, kind of a wax-on, wax-off experience. Thank you, Mr. Chernoff. Oh, and of course, there was more baseball, paddleball, and racquetball in gym. Junior year, finally an upperclassman. We had the chance to yell juniors in the pep rallies. We also had the privilege of taking SATs and ACTs. Good times. The stress of looking good on college applications began to catch up to us. Clubs, sports, extracurriculars, grades, standardized tests, all of these being just as important as the other. Aside from that, we also had good experiences. I remember AP Calculus with Mr. Ganesh, and how great of a class that was. English with Ms. Triano allowed me to write my first research paper. And also we had more baseball, paddleball, and racquetball. Senior year, the unexpected year. I recall working for so long on my research paper for Dr. Wells and Mrs. Stern's independent scientific research class. Presenting my research at the showcase was surprisingly fun, and I am eternally grateful for the magnificent Dr. Wells and the amazing Mrs. Stern for the support and lessons, without which I wouldn't know that I do love research and I intend to pursue it at Cornell. That reminds me, I remember vigorously working on my college applications and financial aid in the fall and winter. It was time-consuming and stressful. This was a chance we had to show colleges who we are and what we have to offer. How do we stand out? What do we have that is different from other applicants? These questions were hard to answer, but there are so many reasons why we stand out. All of you standing in front of me today are special. Now, after that chaos was over, 2020 came along. It has taken us by surprise, hasn't it? The clock struck 12 this New Year's Day, and everything seemed to go downhill from there. We've lost some significant figures. We've had to close down the nation and stay home, only going out for necessities. We went from seeing smiling faces to seeing those smiling faces behind masks. A global pandemic. 2020 has been a year straight out of a sci-fi movie. It's hard to believe. The list of misfortunes seems to go on, and we're only halfway through the year. Although we have suffered as a nation, I want to encourage you all to be positive. It's important to stay safe and to stand up for what you believe in peacefully. Although our senior year ended quickly than we expected, no more pep rallies to scream seniors, no more chances to wear the tie-dye shirts we made and planned on making, no more singing along to the next big hit at school events, no project graduation or chance to end our high school careers having the opportunity to walk through the hallways one last time, and no prom. At least we have the opportunity to graduate as we should. The class of 2020 has not had it easy this year. Although we were deprived of these memorable senior moments, we are living in what will be found in our children's history textbooks. These 4 years have gone by quickly. We've made friendships, some have ended, we've formed bonds. High school was filled with its moments of laughter, tears, and the end of our childhood. Although this might be scary to some of us, the fact that we are now graduating and stepping into our adulthood, just know that so many great things lie ahead of us. The next chapter will begin soon, whether it be college for some, work, or a gap year. Nonetheless, we can all accomplish great things if only we put our minds to it. My favorite quote is, "Nothing is impossible, the word itself says I'm possible." I fall back onto that quote whenever I have any sliver of doubt, and I encourage you to do the same. Class of 2020, we might be experiencing events that were unimaginable before, but this will all make us stronger in the end. Do not create divisions, be kind, spread positivity, and take the lessons we have learned throughout these 4 years to become the adults you aim to be. The quarantine has been difficult for us, but try looking at things in a positive way. For me, it's the fact that, no, this year we did not play baseball, paddleball, or racquetball. Now, my job today is to wish you farewell. We're graduating today and closing this chapter of our lives making history. I wish you all the best of luck on your journeys that are to come. We did it, class of 2020.